Do you still remember Pop Smoke? That voice that shook the entire world. That energy that made every room feel electric. That sound that brought Brooklyn back to life. It hasn't been that long, but sometimes it feels like an entire era disappeared with him. He wasn't just another rapper. He was a movement, a rising king, a force the industry wasn't ready for. And just when he reached the top, just when the world finally understood his power, everything stopped. This is the story of Pop Smoke, the kid from Brooklyn who rose too fast, changed the sound of a generation, and left a legacy the world will never forget.
Before the fame, before the Dior fits, before the deep voice that shook speakers around the world, he was Bashar Jackson, born July 20th, 1999, in Canarsie, Brooklyn. Canarsie was tough, a place where you learned to survive before you learned to dream. But Bashar dreamed big, not of rap, not of fame, but basketball. He trained harder than anyone. He believed the court was his future. But life had other plans. A heart condition ended his basketball dream. In an instant, everything he worked for disappeared. Most people would break under that kind of pain. But Bashar wasn't built to quit. He just didn't know yet. A different destiny was calling his name.
Pop Smoke never planned to be a rapper. He didn't grow up writing lyrics or chasing studio time. His career started by accident. One day, while hanging out in the studio with friends, someone told him to hop in the booth. He wasn't supposed to rap, he was just there to chill. But when he touched the mic, the room froze. That voice, deep, raw, thunderous, didn't sound like a beginner, didn't sound like Brooklyn, didn't sound like anyone the city had ever heard. In that moment, Bashar transformed into Pop Smoke, and the industry was about to feel his arrival. Then came the track that changed everything. Welcome to the Party. It wasn't just a song, it was a cultural earthquake. Brooklyn had never heard drill like this. A UK-inspired beat, an American attitude, and Pop Smoke's voice shaking the ground underneath it. People didn't listen, they felt it. Block parties, clubs, TikTok, cars flying down the street. Pop Smoke became a name no one could ignore. And then he dropped Dior. Dior became more than a hit. It became an anthem, a fashion song, a street song, a global song. Everywhere. That beat, that bass, that voice. Pop wasn't rising, he was taking over. Pop Smoke wasn't rising slowly. He was exploding in real time. In less than a year, he went from a kid discovering his voice to the face of Brooklyn drill, the sound of a new generation, and the energy New York didn't know it was missing. Everywhere he went, crowds followed. Every stage he stepped on, lit up. Every room he walked into, changed. He had that rare force, the kind of presence people compare to legends. Tall, confident, stylish. A deep voice that demanded attention even before he said a single word. His shows were chaos, in the best way. Walls shaking, crowds screaming, security overwhelmed, fans climbing fences just to hear him say, "Baby, welcome to the party." Fashion brands loved him, artists respected him, the streets crowned him, and the world started paying attention. But what people didn't always see was the man behind the voice. Pop Smoke wasn't just a drill rapper. He was a visionary. He wanted to unify Brooklyn. He wanted to break into Hollywood. He wanted to build businesses, change culture, change music, change everything. He was only 20 years old, but he was moving like someone who already lived 2 lifetimes. But fame comes with shadows. Attention attracts danger. And the higher Pop Smoke climbed, the more the world around him began to change. People watched him. People studied him. People envied him. The pressure grew. The risks grew. The spotlight wasn't just bright, it was blinding. Pop Smoke was on the edge of something huge, a global takeover. He wasn't just next up, he was the one. He had no idea the time was running faster than he imagined. February 19th, 2020. Hollywood Hills. Pop Smoke was in Los Angeles to work, to grow, to escape the noise, to focus on the future he had been building piece by piece. He wasn't partying recklessly. He wasn't causing trouble. He was doing what rising stars do, recording, planning, creating. Inside that rented house, Pop was with his team, laughing, cooking, celebrating life. A young superstar finally breathing after years of struggle. But outside, danger was already moving. Earlier that day, Pop Smoke posted a photo on Instagram, a gift bag, not knowing the address on the label was visible. It was a small mistake, one anyone could make. But for Pop, it meant everything. Around 4:30 a.m., a group of intruders entered the home. What happened next shook the entire music world. Gunshots, chaos, a scramble for life. And in a moment that still feels unreal, Pop Smoke, the rising king of Brooklyn drill, was gone. At just 20 years old. 20. A kid who hadn't even lived long enough to see the full impact of his own greatness. The news spread like wildfire. Fans cried. Artists broke down. Brooklyn stood still. The world went silent because a voice that loud should never go quiet. People didn't want to believe it. They couldn't. How could someone rise so fast, shine so bright, and be taken so suddenly? It didn't make sense. It still doesn't. Pop Smoke's story became one of the most heartbreaking what-ifs in hip-hop history. A future superstar, gone before he ever had the chance to see his prime.
Pop Smoke may be gone, but the story he left behind refuses to stay quiet. His voice still shakes speakers. His influence still shapes drill music. His energy still inspires millions around the world. But as the years passed, his death remained one of hip-hop's most painful tragedies. Not just because he was taken so young, but because questions still linger, wounds still ache, and the echoes of that night in Hollywood have never fully faded. Then, something unexpected happened. In August 2023, 3 years after Pop Smoke's passing, authorities made a chilling discovery off Malibu Beach. A sealed barrel was found in the water, and inside was the body of a rapper named Javonte Murphy. At first, it seemed like a separate case, another tragedy in a world full of them. But then a detail surfaced. Javonte Murphy was the brother of Jaquan Murphy, one of the men originally arrested in connection with Pop Smoke's murder. Suddenly, the world paused. Was this a random killing? Was it a message? Was it retaliation? Or was it something deeper? Authorities began investigating possible links, trying to understand whether the two cases were connected or part of a larger, darker story. Nothing has been confirmed. No official answers have been released. But once again, Pop Smoke's name echoed across headlines, across conversations, across the world. Because even after his death, the ripples of his life and the chaos surrounding it continue to spread. Pop Smoke's legacy isn't just music. It's the movement he built, the artists he inspired, the sound he created, the city he revived, and the mystery that still hangs in the air, reminding us just how powerful and fragile a rising star can be. His life ended too soon, but his impact, his influence, his voice, unstoppable. Pop Smoke shot for the stars, and even though his life was cut short, his legacy continues to rise, louder, deeper, and more unforgettable with every passing year. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. Your story isn't over. Your name isn't forgotten. And your voice still echoes across the world.